And that's pretty. Pretty.
Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. In this video, I am revisiting the Vox Vt40x VT40X. One of my good friends and subscribers, Graham Hutton, asked me some questions about this. He's thinking of buying one himself, which I highly recommend. He wanted to know some stuff about the tone room, and he had some questions about the effects and the amps and stuff like that that's on there. So in this video, I'm going to actually go to the website, download Tone Room, because I don't have it on my laptop at the moment because I did a reinstall and I haven't used it for a while. And we're going to download Tone Room, and I'm going to take you through it, answering the questions that Graham has sent me. Microphone invasion. Right, so here I am on the website, easy to find. Just put in Vox Tone Room in Google and it comes up right at the top. Go down to product download, click here. I'm on a Windows PC, so we click there, click to download, and here it comes. And just install it, easy as that really. And that whole thing took no more than like 3 minutes really. And so here we are with the interface up, and it looks like this. So the first question that Graham had for me was, how many pedals is there? So let's have a look. These are the pedals here. So we've got compression pedal, we've got a chorus pedal, we've got a tube overdrive, which I should imagine is based on an Ibanez TS9 or something like that. There's a gold overdrive. It does actually tell you in a little description at the bottom, without saying what it actually is. It says this models an overdrive unit named after a half-human, half-horse creature from Greek mythology. So you have to work out what it is through the clues. This one, it says, this models a well-known overdrive pedal in a green box. The unique warmth of its sound has made it a classic effect. Yeah, the classic tube screamer. Gold overdrive, there's a treble boost, an RC turbo, orange distortion. I've also got fat distortion, Britley, there's a fuzz. So you get quite a few distortion pedals. Flanger pedal, you've got a phaser, you've got an orange phaser 2, tremolo, tape echo, analog delay, and then you've got some reverbs as well. So room, spring, hall, plate, all those usual things, which is really, really cool. How many can you use at once? That was the second question. So based on this setup here, you can change how many pedals you have. So on this particular setup, which is like one of the presets, you've got an RC turbo into a flanger, into a spring reverb, and then into the amp. So it looks like you can do about 3 by the looks of it, 3 at the same time. So you can get yourself a good little effects chain there. So to demonstrate, let's have a little go. We'll build something up. So we've got this amp here. I mean, you can choose any amp you want. You just click on it and it'll just do that. So we'll go with this one. So you can change the settings on the amp, obviously. So if I take these out, so that's this, when you pull them up like this, it takes them out of the signal chain, right? So it's just the amp, which is obviously playing through the Vox. And you can adjust all the stuff on here. You can do the class A or AB. You can do a bias shift, so you can make the colder on the tube or a hot tube, stuff like this. And you've got obviously bass, middle, treble, gain, so you can whop your gain up on there. So to answer the distortion pedal thing, you've got gains on the amps as well. But if you just want a clean channel, so we can clean it up like that. And then say for instance I want to add distortion in, so we'll add this tube screamer in. Ooh, drag him down into the thing, and then you've got all the controls for that as well. So I can walk up the drive I want to. Which is cool. So I want to add some modulation. I can add some flange or whatever I want on there. Let's have a look. Let's have some analog delay. So we'll click on that. This is probably how I set my live rig up, basically. So now we've got some delay. And I can obviously adjust all the stuff, the level, the tone, the time. Make it a bit slower. Nice. And then I can add some reverb if I want to. So let's go with a nice bit of spring. A bit of spring on there. That's a lot of reverb. But you can adjust it all anyway, so that's pretty cool, right? That's a nice sound. Right, so if we look at some of the presets, you've got all of these on the side here. So there's tons of different amps, 3 whole banks full of them. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory. Let's have a look. So let's have a look. What would be obvious? Well, these are like your Marshalls you got over here. You got your Voxes, obviously, orange, of course. What else have we got here? Enter Sandman, so that's pretty obvious, isn't it? That's probably Metallica. Love of God is probably Steve Vai. Things like that. So you can kind of work out American Idiot, Green Day, maybe. So you can work it out. Satch Boogie, look, Joe Satriani, of course. Sweet Child, probably Guns N' Roses. I mean, let's have a look. So if we click on this, this is a slash setup, right? So pretty decent rock sound. Not much wrong with that. Teen Spirit. I'm not going to play any of the tunes because of copyright, obviously. You know, so you get the idea. Walk. I wonder what that is. Let's have a look down another one. Let's go to a cleaner one. Ecstasy. Blue sky. Oh, that's nice, right? Very nice indeed. So you get the idea. I mean, the presets themselves are pretty decent. These are my patches here that I've made myself. So this one sounds like this, which is like a muddy kind of bluesy sound. Let's turn that down. And then the second one, just got more gain. Nice and smooth, how I like it. This one is more of a kind of cleaner, and then this one, and then very heavy. Very, very gainy, your delay on it. So just going back, if I wanted to build something from scratch, so these are the amps up here. You can just scroll along, look, and there it is. All of them, all at the top there. So you can choose which one you want to use. There's plenty of them too. So say I wanted to use one of these, a boutique overdrive. I think these are based on Dumble, if I am correct. So you've got the clean and the overdrive special. So if we go with that one, no, we go with clean. So that automatically goes down there, and then I click on the pedal. Let's try a different one. Let's try this gold drive there, and I'll take these out for the minute. So we just have the gold. We'll just have the amp and the gold drive. It's cool, right? So if I take the drive out, just have the amp. So we're just on the amp there. Give it a mid boost. Let's make it a hot bias. Might warp the gain up actually. Gain up. I feel like it wants some presence. Yeah, maybe warp that right up. Liking that. Maybe a bit more mid. Cut through a bit. Switch that to an A class. I like that on its own. It's rather nice. Let's take the gain down a bit, make it cleaner, and warp the volume up. And we'll bring our drive pedal in, which is nice. Put some drive on it. It's a bit crunchy. Take a bit of that tone down. Maybe warp the bass up. So it's really easy to get a good sound, like pretty much straight away. I mean, that's pretty good. So let's try some modulation. Let's go with the flange. Let's try a bit of that. Oh, that's nice. And bring the reverb in. Let's make it wet. Yeah. And that was just really quickly just messing around. So you can get some really good sounds out of this very easily. The interface is really easy to use. And once you're happy with that, you can save that to one of your banks. Yeah, in order to do that, you just go to this button up here, click that, and then you can choose where you want to save it. You have 8 banks, and that will save it to the amp. So when you take your amp out on the road, you've got that sound that you set up at home on your laptop ready to go live. So here's a quick look at the amp. It's a quite nice looking little thing. It's very light. It's got a 10-inch speaker in there, I believe. So it's connected via USB to the computer. And you've got a headphone out, which I know is something you were interested in. And an auxiliary in as well if you wanted to plug something into it, but that's up to you. But on the amp as well, you do have lots of stuff you can play with as well. It's not as many that is in the tone room, but you do have quite a few bits and bobs, and you can obviously adjust bass, middle, treble on the fly, and gain, volume, and all that kind of stuff. And you have a few effects on the actual amp already. Again, not as many as you get in the tone room, but there you go. And there's your banks there, so you get 4 banks, and then you just push this little button here, and then there's another 4 banks. Very easy to use. There is a foot switch as well you can get for it, which I haven't got yet. I will get one.
And that's pretty.
And there you go, Daddy-o. I hope that was helpful for you, Graham, and I hope that was helpful for any of you guys looking at these amps and the tone room and what it's capable of. Obviously, I've just kind of skimmed over it, but hopefully it gives you an insight into what you get. The app is free to download. For anybody, but obviously you need the amp to use it. The only drawback I have with this, the only downside I have with it, is that I can't use tone room with my DAW. There's no way of doing that. The only way for me to use the amp with my DAW is to mic up the speaker. There isn't a line, like a headphone out, but it's not very good. Or you could possibly wire up some kind of emulated line out to the speaker if you knew what you were doing. But apart from that, and the fact that it doesn't have a speaker jack in the back, you can't add another speaker or plug it into another cab or anything like that. But for the money, I think they're less than £200. It's really, really, really good. The one I'm using is the 40 watt, and it is loud enough to gig with. I have gigged with this. I did about half a dozen gigs with this before lockdown, in a rock band, heavy party rock band, doing all kinds of stuff like the Rolling Stones, right up to, you know, heavy stuff. So it can handle it, and that's without miking it up. What I really loved about it is how light it is and compact, and I could just stick it on a chair and ring, and off I went, sort of thing. Really cool. So there is only one more thing left to say, and that is peace. Till next time. Cue the jingle.
1, 2, 3, 4. If you like my YouTube show, hit like and comment and get involved. If you dig my vibe, then hit subscribe and never miss an episode of my YouTube show. Peace. Till next time.